week 8 package B series for 2026, and I've cheated just a little bit because I started doing this video earlier and I got into here and there are queen cells, as I thought there might be, because we've had nothing but rain for the last like 2 weeks. Everybody's kind of been cooped up at home, and they were already starting to make some queen cells last week when I got in and checked them real quick. And so I kind of expected they might be doing this thing because they are just packed full. I mean, these package bees are just abundant laying queens and it's hard to hold them back. So this is what I'm going to do. The queen and actually the bees have decided that they're going to swarm. So at this point, then I'm going to remove the queen. So I'm going to manually swarm the queen so that I can keep her. And I'm going to end up making a split here. I'm going to make a 5-frame split, which will thin out the colony. It's still going to leave them with plenty of forage bees because they're starting to work on this honey super. So we're just 2 months in. These bees are incredible. And so it's a good problem to have. And we're going to get an extra hive out of these package bees. All right, so I'm going to leave this super kind of intact with the inner cover because the bees are all packed on top of this, and a lot of the girls are home for the evening. It's getting a little bit late in the day to be doing this, but we were busy in the store, so here I am out here getting my work done. Okay, so remove the queen excluder. And I know that on this first frame is going to be our first surprise. So they've got brood all the way out here to the outside edge of the box. So they are filling up as much space as what they possibly can. So they are full, and the queen is running out of space. And out here, they also have a queen cell. And this one is a charged queen cell. So what I like to do is just open the side up and make sure that you can see a larva or not. Put that in frame. Yep, so there is a larva and tons of royal jelly. And I just tore the side off of this, but they're going to fix it back immediately. So I'm going to leave that queen cell. That's the first one, and let's see, I'm going to have to, it's out of the way enough that I'm going to be able to rest it here gently. And I'm looking for the queen on all of these frames because she was clearly laying all the way out here. So I'm going to look in the next frame. Okay, she's not on here. There's a brood that is hatching. So they're opening up some space. Yeah, so this frame, same thing. So queen cell. That one is not yet full. Queen cell. That one was no egg in it. This one is starting to look a little bit longer. And it has an egg down inside of it. So I've got one on this outside frame. So this is 2, the second queen cell. I really only want to leave 2 or 3 queen cells because I want them to just basically raise one queen, and I don't want them to swarm a second time because they can do what is called a cast swarm. So in nature the original queen will swarm, and then there's a bunch of queen cells. If there are too many queen cells, like 6 or 8, the first virgin queen, the new queen that hatches, she can decide that she doesn't want to go around trying to kill all those other queens. She doesn't want to have to sword fight everybody. So sometimes she'll just decide like, okay, I'm out of here, and then she'll leave with some portion of the worker bees. And then the next queen that hatches, it could do the same thing on and on to the point where they kind of almost swarm themselves to death. So some bees are, their genetic disposition is to just constantly swarm or to lay too many queen cells and over swarm. And they will literally almost swarm themselves to death because they will basically just get down to almost no resources. So this frame has got queen cells. So there's 2 more here. So I'm going to take those out. Sorry, girl. And there's 2 here in the corner. I'm going to take the smaller one. Take that one out. And this one's kind of wonky on the frame. I'm going to take that one out as well. We already have 2, which is, 1 and a spare. This side has got 3 down here on the bottom. And this is where they normally will lay queen cells because there's this gap between the top box and the bottom box. I'm going to go ahead and take these off because these will get attached to the bottom frames, and I know I'm going to be coming back here in a week to do an inspection, so I don't want to tear them open. I want to have queen cells that are going to be viable and not at risk of damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the queen and make a 5-frame split. So I'm just going through here, checking queen cells. I'm looking for the queen. She's got almost all of this open comb just completely laid full, all the way out here to the edges. So mom's doing her job. She's just kicking butt here again. So can't fault her for just being abundant. And they got, kind of cooped up at home. Yeah, so here are some older queen cells. Yeah. All right, so there's a bunch here. And actually this one, there's 1 capped, 2 capped, and then here's the queen right here. And then there's a queen cell here, a queen cell there. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to remove this one up here. I don't want those, and those 2 are capped, so and they're not sticking past the bottom of the frame, so I shouldn't have an issue of damaging those whenever I pull frames. So mom here, I'm going to take her, I'm going to pull one of these other frames that has brood on it, and I'm going to put her on a brood frame, and I'm going to start the split. So she's right here. I'm going to leave her there really quickly while I get my stuff set up. I'm going to pull out. These are all plain foundation. I'm making a brand new split, so I'm going to do this a little bit expeditiously. Okay, where'd you go, Mama? Oh, there she is. She ran off to the middle of the frame. So I had her marked. Matter of fact, earlier today, she was marked. And they've since chewed off some of the paint. There's just a little speck left. So I'm actually giving this split is going to go to some friends of ours. So I'm going to make this a little easier for them to find her. I'm going to remark her. Okay. So this one has queen cells. And so what I like to do is take a Sharpie or a paint pen and I mark queen cell. And then really quickly here, got my white paint pen and I'm going to dab the extra paint off of it, dry it off, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to get some of these nurse bees, they'll squeeze through this slats of the cage here because it's sized for the queen. And I've got her pinched where her just top of her abdomen is sticking out there. So I just dot her and get these other bees off there so they don't chew the wet paint off of her really quickly. Okay, so there you go. Now she's marked in there, and I'm going to set her to the side while I make this split so that I know she's nice and safe. And I'm going to put it here, so I'm going to set it right next to the side of the box. If it's sunny, you want her in the shade here anyway. And what I'm going to do is go back. I'd like for her to have some capped brood. So she has hatching nurse bees to help raise the new family. So what I'm going to do is, this frame had a couple of queen cells. I'm going to remove those. I don't want any queen cells. I definitely don't want any queen cells going into this split. And so what I'm even going to do is shake the bees and double check all these little edges where the bees were covering up to make sure that I didn't leave behind any queen cells. Yeah, and you can see this is a mostly capped frame of brood. That's good. That's going to go there in the middle. And I would like to find a couple more of those. So back to that frame. And I had these checkerboarded, and they're drawing wax, and as soon as they're getting the wax deep enough, she's laying eggs in it. So again, she's just outrunning the wax builders. Okay, so here's another good frame. There's a bunch of capped queen cells on here. So again, those are all extras. I'll shake those off. Hopefully you can see these are all queen cells. So I'm just going to scrape those off. We don't want those. We have plenty. And we don't want these girls swarming when they get to their new home either. You just want to make sure that, you want to make sure you don't just get rid of the wax here. You want to make sure you kill the queen larva that was in there that they were feeding the royal jelly, because they will rebuild that queen cell in just a few minutes. They'll reconstruct it and everything will be hunky-dory, back to normal. Yep, so that's one they're working on drawing out. And then this one, even though this is single-sided, there's a little patch of brood in the middle, but this is all nectar up here, and there's some pollen down here. So this is going to be a resource frame. Okay, so I've got 2 brood, and I have a frame of resources. And now what I want to do is, I'd like to make this a 3 frame. 3 frames of brood and a couple frames of food for this split. So what I'm going to do is go into the bottom box here as well. So I'm going to start this checkerboarding back again. And oftentimes they will have their queen cells in the top box in the center, which is what they were doing. So we're going to leave that in place. And then there was one more of these. It was this frame on the outside that had a queen cell. So I'm going to mark it as well. That's going to be my backup queen cell, because I had 2 here in the middle. I've got 1 backup. They've got brood there. And then this last frame. So we've taken basically 3 frames. And actually forgot about this one down here. Oh, this is, uh-oh, I might have boo-booed. Did this one have a queen cell on it as well? Okay, that's the one I removed the queen cell. Okay. Double check. So scribble out that one. And then what I'm going to do is index these over, because I got 2 plain ones there. So this one has a queen cell. Okay, so that's my backup queen cell frame. And now we're going to, since I have the queen, I don't have to worry about the queen excluder, making sure that I don't get the queen down inside of there. So normally I would put the queen excluder on top of the super before I put a deep box, a brood box up here, just so that the queen, if I missed her, she wouldn't run down into that bottom box or into that super box and then get around my queen excluder basically. So okay, they're working on that one. So run out of places to prop equipment safely here. Put that one there. Okay, there's tons of pollen on this frame. The queen cell down here, I'm going to remove that. And there's a little capped brood, but there's actually a lot of open brood, so I'm going to leave that for the new queen. Okay, here's a big, whew, look at that, giant queen cell there. That one's capped over. Whew, another one. Boy, those are two really nice queen cells. So, okay, this is going to make my decision a little difficult. See how large this queen cell, so you can tell they probably filled this largely with royal jelly. And there's one on this side as well. Both of those are older and capped, so they've chewed. See if you can tell. They've kind of thinned this. You know, that one's open. Maybe it's thin because they're still filling it. Okay, it is. So let's take that one. Yeah. So there's a larva in that one. And come on, girls. Yeah, this one is capped. And they've started to thin the bottom of that capping. So that's a really robust queen cell. We're going to leave that one here. So basically what I'm doing now is kind of trading queen cells based on how strong they are, because I want the 2 or 3 best. This one that was out here on the outside, that was a newer one, I'm going to go ahead and take that one out now. And that's kind of what you're going to do here. You need to go through the entire box and see, kind of grade everything as you go. So it's very much just kind of adapting and changing your plan. And yeah, more queen cell starts here. Yep, so they had just gotten full and decided they had plenty of bees. So this frame is largely bee bred on both sides with some capped brood in the middle. I'm going to use this as one of my other resource frames. I'm going to shake the girls off there and double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep, okay, use that as a resource frame. And we're probably still going to find some queen cells in here. Okay, there's a huge frame full of almost all capped brood and more resources. So then this is going to be my last brood frame. So I've got 3. Double check. Good. So all those nurse bees are in the box. They're going to climb right back up onto that frame. No problem at all. And then, so I put 3 frames of brood, and I put 2 basically partial frames of food in here. And then I'm going to center those up with these plain foundations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, sorry. There's 10. So there you go. So this split is done. I just got to put mom in there. So I'm going to checkerboard these. Let's get mom put in here. And you just got to be careful when you open this that she's not at the top. She's down here. I'm going to watch her climb out into the box and go down into the frame. Go on, Mama. Oh, she's crawling on my finger. Go on. There she goes. She went down into the box. I know she went down inside of there. And I've got those frames in there with nurse bees. But this box is going to stay kind of, I'm going to set it on a hive stand over here off to the side. And so in that case, what I need to do is give them some extra nurse bees, because a lot of the forage bees are going to fly back here to this mother hive. So ideally, we would take this split and we would go 3 miles away, set them up to be established, because they're going to be picked up here next week. We're just going to shake extra nurse bees. And I like doing this anyway because I want extra young bees with the new queen. This hive has got some other brood that's going to be hatching. And so they're going to have a resurgence of nurse bees in here as well. And we want both of them to have enough bees to take off. Okay, and then I've checkerboarded all the kind of partial frames that I had, and now all I want to do is check these last few frames, just double checking. Okay, that one's drawn on one side. I'm just looking for the last few frames to make sure there's no extra queen cells I haven't missed. That looks good. So that's all pollen. That's brood. And all the way, everything that's drawn has got eggs in it. So that's going to be a full frame of brood as well. I'm going to checkerboard this plain one. So what I'm doing is giving them some extra work with this checkerboarding. They'll work on drawing that wax while the new queen, so these are capped queen cells. That means new queens are coming in about a week, 16 days. So they've capped the queen cells sometime around day 7. And then we have this new generation. They're going to hatch out here in the next week. They're going to mature first. The new virgin queen will mature for a few days and then go out on a mating flight when the weather is nice. So we're realistically going to have brood in about 2 weeks, possibly 3. But there's tons of bees in this box. I didn't want to open it because, again, we're kind of late in the day here. Get all these girls back down. And then our split. We're all set here. Close these girls up. I've got the entrance reducer down tight on this new one, the new split, so they get established with the home. These guys are set up. We're ready for another week. Everybody be blessed.